As Vice-Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open for the conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and the Council. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this degree congregation this afternoon. Degree congregations are celebrations, and this is a celebration for all those who graduate today. We celebrate your many achievements that culminate in the award of a degree from a major international research-led university. Now, I'm sure that for those of you graduating this afternoon, it must be several years since you studied our prospectus. And during that time, we've changed quite a bit as a university, and all of you have contributed to those changes. The university has certainly increased in size. We are now an institution of some 17,000 students, and we employ approximately 3,500 staff, but only approximately 600 are academic staff. We are also, most importantly, a university that has grown in intellectual stature. But what is the evidence for that? In research, we are in the top 20 universities for research grant and contract income, the money that makes it possible for academics to keep at the forefront of their subject and to do leading work in their field. We were also very pleased in April this year to find that we had been named by the Financial Times as the leading provider of postgraduate master's courses in the UK. Indeed, in this university, 54% of the student body are postgraduate students. From that point of view, we hope that many of you graduating with us today with a first degree will want to come back and join that 54% and indeed to boost it in the coming years. In teaching, we are regularly reviewed by external groups for the Quality Assurance Agency. In the last 10 visits to Leicester to evaluate our teaching, we have been delighted to find that all our departments have been awarded a mark that equates to excellence. Now, research and teaching are fundamental to a university education, and I am sure that your experience in Leicester will have brought you into contact with leading researchers and scholars in their respective disciplines. For research and critical analysis informs teaching, and it extends the boundaries of the world that we investigate together with you in your academic studies. Certainly, I would argue that these two skills, the skills of the researcher and the critical analyst, are those that will help you to solve problems in the years ahead. They will also help you in the roles that you will play in a knowledge-based economy. But given the faculties that are graduating this afternoon, what kinds of activities have they engaged in, and indeed, where do they stand in the firmament in the UK and internationally? One could give many examples of the activities of work that is conducted at the very edge of different subject areas by academics in this university. But I will just take one or two examples. In the social sciences, Dr. Martin Gill has been awarded over £1 million to engage in policy-focused research with the Home Office, and from that point of view demonstrates the way in which research has an everyday application, which we find very important in moving forward not just the boundaries of subject knowledge, but also the applicability of disciplines to day-to-day life. We were also delighted in this particular academic year to find that on one of the visits of the Quality Assurance Agency, our economics department was awarded a mark of 24 out of 24 for teaching activities. And I would like to congratulate the staff and the students who were involved in that visit, given that it does require a team effort in order to demonstrate quality of that kind. But we do not see this as the absolute pinnacle, meaning that Leicester does not need to do any more. Rather, we see it as a base camp that we've reached, from which we regroup and move on to higher and greater things. In the Faculty of Law, I can assure you that when you joined the university, you joined a top 10 law school in the UK, and I'm delighted to say you are still in a top 10 law school. That is absolutely splendid, and the achievements in the law department are such that they keep us at the forefront of UK law schools. And indeed, not only has law developed face-to-face tuition, but also has been one of the departments that has spearheaded distance learning developments in the UK. An opportunity for those of you graduating today to participate at a later point in time. But all the departments in the university continue to develop research and teaching, and it is important that research and teaching enter into a dynamic interaction with each other. Firstly, through the kinds of initiatives that we make in the region. Certainly, the University of Leicester was delighted to be chosen as one of 21 universities to mount the new prototype degree programs that government has advocated, namely the new foundation degree, which will be a 2-year program. And we will be starting this autumn with one program for classroom assistance and one in the area of risk management. Secondly, we are developing our research strengths and our teaching activities with leading companies. And we are very proud of the link we have with Rolls-Royce, a link which we feel can be built to embrace a number of other major companies in the UK who want to engage with researchers and teachers in the university in order to advance their own research and training activities. Because training is an activity that the university engages in based upon the quality of the research programs that are available. In this respect, we are continuing to develop our short course program and also to engage in advanced training for a number of professional bodies. But finally, we also have developed over a 10-year period distance learning provision, and we're very pleased to be able to report that the number of students registered for those programs now stand at 5,000. Indeed, all of you graduating today who thought that this might be the end of academic life with the University of Leicester will be delighted to know that you can come back for more, and indeed that there is an opportunity to participate in distance learning programs once you're engaged in your professional lives. And just in case parents and friends think that you might be excluded from this activity, can I assure you that if any of you wish to engage in a distance learning degree, we should be delighted to sign you up and to get you started by the end of the week if necessary. So I hope people will find that an opportunity they can't resist. Because this university makes lifelong learning a living reality. But in doing so, there are challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. We need to achieve student recruitment targets, and to achieve our targets in this year so that we build towards the very tough target that the government has rightly set, whereby 50% of the population aged 18 to 30 will have some experience of higher education by the year 2010. It's a tough challenge. It opens up universities. It's right and proper that it should. And Leicester has a role to play in all that. Secondly, we need to meet the challenge of reduced budgets by generating our own income. The comprehensive spending reviews that have occurred in recent months have helped to build back some of the scientific infrastructure that is absolutely essential for universities to engage in world-class research. But there needs to be more done, and there needs to be more money put in to the system, not only by government, but also by universities themselves, finding ingenious ways to generate their own income through academic trading activities, through spin-off companies, and a whole range of other things that we are working on at the present time. Thirdly, we need to develop new forms of learning through multimedia delivery. And I'm pleased to be able to say that the University of Leicester is involved with a group of institutions that are developing multimedia delivery to embrace the objectives of the electronic university. Underpinning all this is the importance to maintain, develop, and enhance our networks. Indeed, any good university worldwide needs to be good regionally, nationally, and internationally. It is very important that the people of Leicester and Leicestershire have access to this university, and it's also important that we have a very strong presence internationally. The two are interconnected. Certainly, you can trace this back to the history of this university when it began life on the 4th of October 1921. Indeed, the University of Leicester has much to contribute as it moves into its 80th year since higher education was first provided on our campus in University Road. Finally, I would like to congratulate all of you who graduate today on the quality of the degrees that you have obtained. I'm delighted that the class of 2001 has demonstrated very clearly to us that you can produce work of very high quality. The degrees that are being awarded this year push the standard ever higher. And clearly it would be my hope that in future years, other classes will in fact develop from the baseline that you have achieved. But congratulations to you all on a terrific year and a huge amount of success. Certainly, I hope you will want to continue to keep in touch with the university. We are very proud of you, and we hope that you will find that there are research and teaching activities in the university that will make you very proud of your university. I hope that at the alumni events that you are automatically open to participate in, given that you all now become members of the Leicester Alumni Association. I shall look forward to seeing you at those events during the coming years. But before I sit down, I would like you to join me in showing your appreciation to your parents, relatives, friends and sponsors who have supported you throughout your university careers and throughout your careers in schools and colleges before you came to Leicester. However, I should tell you one thing. I'm running a little competition this year to see which faculties can applaud best. And when I was told it was sociologists this afternoon, and given I have an affinity with that discipline, I thought you wouldn't let me down, and the people from a top 10 law school in the UK wouldn't let me down either. So I want to see if this afternoon you can definitely applaud so well that tomorrow afternoon the medics are going to have a real hard job to beat you. So let's see how we go, and let us applaud all those people, the parents, relatives, friends and sponsors who have supported you throughout your career. And I would ask now the graduating class of 2001 to join me in a round of applause for those people. Well, that's a very good start, but if you can develop on that a bit in the afternoon, I should be very pleased, because I hope that you have a really enjoyable day. I would ask you to applaud all your fellow students, and all good wishes from me in all your future careers.
The graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Dr. Nagreen. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of the Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Antonio Carenza. Yair Galili. Naima Haji Bashir. Andrew White. For the degree of Master of Arts in Law and Employment Relations, Belinda Jane Adams.
Congratulations.
Helen Allen.
Congratulations.
Elaine Clark.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Coleman.
Congratulations.
Ray Edwards.
Congratulations.
Colin Gilmore.
Congratulations.
Georgina Hallows.
Congratulations.
Claire Hardwidge.
Congratulations.
Jackie Rymel.
Congratulations.
Nigel Scare.
Congratulations.
Maria Slattery.
Congratulations.
Martin Steele.
Congratulations.
Andrew Taylor.
Congratulations.
Evelyn Thurley.
Congratulations.
Andrew Underwood.
Congratulations.
Michelle Wenham.
Congratulations.
Carlton Williams.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Sociology of Sport, George Ajay.
Congratulations.
Wendy Hurst.
Congratulations.
Lucy Parry.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Steve Gibbs.
Congratulations.
Catherine O'Donovan.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Sports Management, Anthony Buchanan.
Congratulations.
Joe Megan.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Pitts.
Congratulations.
Andrew Wheeldon.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training, Tech Ang.
Congratulations.
Janet Bromley.
Congratulations.
Thomas Dodd.
Congratulations.
Carmelina Lawton-Smith.
Congratulations.
Eleanor Meldrum.
Congratulations.
Hani Pamnani.
Congratulations.
Donna Perry.
Congratulations.
Rhiannon Vickerman.
Congratulations.
George Walker.
Congratulations.
Stephen Westwood.
Congratulations.
Gordon Wright.
Congratulations.
Anne Young.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Human Resource Management, Mary Albert.
Congratulations.
Jovin Bayingana.
Congratulations.
Simon Chan.
Congratulations.
Joan Chappell,
Congratulations.
Christopher Cowan,
Congratulations.
Julie Crabtree,
Congratulations.
Dan Fessler,
Congratulations.
Simon Flounders,
Congratulations.
Jessie Fong,
Congratulations.
Anne Gagnon,
Congratulations.
Heather Hetiarachi,
Congratulations.
Moira Kavanagh,
Congratulations.
Barry Keane,
Congratulations.
Iris Klein,
Congratulations.
Patricia Lacey,
Congratulations.
Susanna Lamb,
Congratulations.
Jean Lamb,
Congratulations.
Lamo Lamo,
Congratulations.
Peter Leong,
Congratulations.
Mary Lesperance,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yin Leong,
Congratulations.
Susan Lyons,
Congratulations.
Andrew McKitchen,
Congratulations.
Lewis Nardi,
Congratulations.
Jacinta O'Connell,
Congratulations.
Alison Ryan,
Congratulations.
Teresa Ryan,
Congratulations.
George Tassie,
Congratulations.
Donald Vincent,
Congratulations.
Virginia von Malakowski,
Congratulations.
Judy Yeo,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Science in Training and Performance Management, Patricia Angus,
Congratulations. I had it long title.
Gillian Berman,
Congratulations.
Julie French,
Congratulations.
David Hugill,
Congratulations.
Neil Mack,
Congratulations.
Noleg Ahili,
Congratulations.
Charles Stanley Pierre,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, Harry Appleby,
Congratulations.
Manoj Barot,
Congratulations.
Emma Bishop,
Congratulations.
Sarah Burgess,
Congratulations.
John Dow,
Congratulations.
Claire Dunn,
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Ellis,
Congratulations.
Claire Fishwick,
Congratulations.
Gurley Gardius,
Congratulations.
Catherine Hayes,
Congratulations.
Philip Hibble,
Congratulations.
Helen Hingley,
Congratulations.
Christopher Hawkins,
Congratulations.
Naomi Jackson,
Congratulations.
Nicholas Jones,
Congratulations.
Stephen Cairns,
Congratulations.
Hannah Levy,
Congratulations.
Donna Mastrullo,
Congratulations.
Helen Maguire,
Congratulations.
Jenny Morris,
Congratulations.
Joseph Norton,
Congratulations.
Katie O'Reilly,
Congratulations.
Katie Palfreman,
Congratulations.
Darren Rushin,
Congratulations.
Andrew Russell,
Congratulations.
Sugdev Sandhu,
Congratulations.
Kim Sheriff,
Congratulations.
Nicola Schimmel,
Congratulations.
Anne-Marie Short.
Congratulations.
Emma Sullivan.
Congratulations.
Emma Terry.
Congratulations.
Sarah Walker.
Congratulations.
Nadia Zaki.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Sociology, Kerry Allen.
Congratulations.
Tammy Ayres.
Congratulations.
Rachel Bicker.
Congratulations.
Sarah Broadhurst.
Congratulations.
Lorna Gibbons.
Congratulations.
Claire Guilford.
Congratulations.
Emma Holt.
Congratulations.
Tasneem Ibrahim.
Congratulations.
Holly Jinks.
Congratulations.
Maria Keeble.
Congratulations.
Alison Littlewood.
Congratulations.
Sarah Mann.
Congratulations.
Thea Mills.
Congratulations.
Ruth Mingay.
Congratulations.
Hannah Norgate.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Alison Oxborough.
Congratulations.
Daniel Sareen.
Congratulations.
Gillian Steedman.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Michelle Todd.
Congratulations.
Lisa Towers.
Congratulations. I remember when you became elected.
Caroline West.
Congratulations.
Caroline Werrett.
Congratulations.
Natalie Woods.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
It is my pleasure to present to this degree congregation Gerald Cinderby, who was Treasurer of the University from 1995 to 1999. It has been suggested to me that it must be something of a challenge to write an interesting oration for an accountant, since the only interesting things which happen to them usually result in a prison sentence. That is, of course, not part of the life story of our honorand, and I hope that I can contribute to dispelling the myth that the world's most boring book would be Lives of the Great Accountants. Gerald Cinderby was born and grew up in the Forest of Dean, where he was educated at the age of 16 at the local grammar school. It seems that the school would not have fared well in a modern inspection, because there was little offered in the way of careers guidance. A boy who was academically able and athletically promising, it seems he could run faster and jump further than most of his contemporaries, left school without any knowledge of the choices open to him. He looked around and started work in the Treasurer's Department of the Gloucestershire County Council. This start on work was soon punctuated by national service, which involved being an equipment accountant in Wales. I was surprised by his response to my question as to what he thought people learned from national service. He told me he thought people learned to be lazy, since the objective was to do as little as possible for the duration. Gerald Cinderby is not, however, by nature a lazy person. He returned to Gloucestershire County Council, where he stayed and advanced for nearly 20 years, having qualified as an accountant through part-time day release study, granted to him on condition that he agreed to do 5 days' work in 4. He was one of the few people to pass all the examinations at the first attempt, modestly adding that this was simply because he could not contemplate the prospect of resit examinations. I doubt that many in this audience would be able to predict what he did next. After nearly 20 years in the same authority, he went to Ndola City Council in Zambia, initially as group accountant, but from 1970 as deputy city treasurer. He had decided the time was ripe for a move. His surprised county treasurer only told him after he had committed himself to Africa that he could have got him a job in any county council of his choosing. Africa, however, proved to be much more challenging, enjoyable, and character-building than anything a British county council could offer. But all good things come to an end. Policies of Africanization, which limited opportunities for career advancement for expatriates, and the children's schooling made a return to the United Kingdom inevitable. In 1972, Jerry returned to the United Kingdom, and after 2 years as Assistant Treasurer to the Sheffield Regional Hospital Board, came to Leicester, first as Director of Finance for the Leicestershire Health Authority, then as Deputy General Manager and Director of Finance, and until his retirement in 1992 as Chief Executive. This period included the development of the university's medical school in Leicester, with all the implications such a major development has for the quality of healthcare in the region. Securing resources for the health service side of such a development was indeed challenging, but enormously rewarding. The reshaping of medical services in later years involved difficult decisions, but they had to be taken in the interests of a better healthcare service. You can now see why Gerald Cinderby was a natural target to be University Treasurer. This is an unpaid post, but an important one in providing the Council of the University with advice on the financial standing of the University from a quasi-independent perspective. He performed this task with distinction between 1995 and 1999. He has also been very actively involved as chairman of Rainbows, the East Midlands Children's Hospice, where he and his colleagues have been successful in raising substantial sums of money for this most worthy of causes. You will recall that I referred to the athletic promise shown by the young Gerald Cinderby. That fondness for exercise remains. He lists among his interests cycling. This involves cycling longer distances than most of us care to contemplate, more than once a week, on 1950s classic bicycles. University committees permitting, he also walks long distances on the days he is not on his bicycle. I wish to conclude by passing on a piece of advice which Jerry passed on to us, I think when I was a member of the committee charged with recommending the appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor just over 2 years ago. He advised us that part of the person specification should indicate that we were looking for a happy person, since happy people make happy managers, and happy managers tend to get more out of their workforce than miseries. Upbeat is better than downbeat every time. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present to you Gerald Austin Cinderby, that you may confer upon him the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws and welcome you among us. Congratulations.
Vice-Chancellor, Chairman of Council, fellow guardians, friends and relatives, I'm very proud to be awarded this honorary degree this afternoon. It does give me a permanent association with the University of Leicester, which I regard to be a fine university with a bright future. Listening to the glowing terms expressed by the public orator, I'm almost persuaded there's been some value in my contributions to the many meetings of Council and its committees over the past 9 years, and the considerable kilos of paper which I must have read. As you heard, Council membership is entirely voluntary without any kind of remuneration or expenses. But there are many rewards of a different kind. The satisfaction of giving one's time, thought and energy to a very worthy cause, and the opportunity, in this case, to sharpen one's intellect by mixing with some very bright people. Retirement for me is a good time to recognize one's own good fortune and to give back something to help others. But the good news is you don't have to wait that long. And I want to plant the idea in the minds of today's graduates that voluntary activity can be rewarding at any time of life. I appreciate that students graduating today may be rather focused on the next steps in a career and the need to pay off debts incurred at university. But you will come to realize that compared with investments that you may well make in a house and a motor car, the investment you've made in a degree will prove by far the most profitable. And with luck and hard work, you'll soon take all these hurdles in your stride and at some stage appreciate your good fortune. So to return to the benefits of voluntary work, there are millions of good causes and many ways to help. Money is always needed, but so is time. And it can provide a way to widen your knowledge and skills, since voluntary providers of service, such as the Children's Hospice, which I chair, face all the same legal requirements as a larger business. We get involved in, obviously, employment law, health and safety, governance, public accountability, to name but a few. So it's a good learning process. And in a small charitable organisation, you can experience how all these issues interact. Now, it may be easier, and you may prefer, in fact, to organise or participate in charitable events. And these can be great fun and help to develop your marketing skills and organisational skills. Of course, if you're lucky, you may be so successful that you make serious money and can afford to donate to charitable causes, in which case, please remember the University of Leicester. The Vice-Chancellor will be pleased to hear from you at any time. However, people in the fundraising world like me know that it's the poor people who are relatively more generous than the rich. The parable of the widow's mite still applies, so don't wait until you feel rich enough. Just give, whatever, whenever, however you can. It's a real privilege to share your graduation day. And finally, whatever you do with the rest of your lives, may you always be happy and as lucky as you feel today. Thank you.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of Law to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of Law, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Master of Laws in European Management and Employment Law, Donald Jones. Flora Lee. For the degree of Master of Laws in European Union Law, Commercial, Vasiliki Anastasiadou. Sarah Birmingham. Lawrence Dietz. Quentin Fawcett. Timothy Fleming. Richard Harlow. Harold Jeffcott. Stephen Kinsey. Edmund Mannert. Nana Odawara. Mark Oppenheimer.
Congratulations.
Vinita Ramkalawan.
Congratulations.
Stefan Simon.
Congratulations.
Don Smith.
Congratulations.
Luigia Thompson.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Laws in European Union Law, Employment, Sarah Cornford.
Congratulations.
Claire Durkin.
Congratulations.
Michael Gagan.
Congratulations.
Sheila Osborne Brown.
Congratulations.
Monique Tuttle.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Laws in Human Rights and Civil Liberties, Naoko Maeda.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Laws in Law and Employment Relations, Kofi Addo.
Congratulations.
Christopher Gaskell.
Congratulations.
Robert Jenkin Bedford.
Congratulations.
Sarah Mackey.
Congratulations.
Ursula Osmond.
Congratulations.
Prad Patak.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Pavitt.
Congratulations.
Keith Reeves.
Congratulations.
Mandeep Sangara.
Congratulations.
Alan Chauffet.
Congratulations.
Roger Silvers.
Congratulations.
John Tanner.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in European Management and Employment Law, Linda Cleaver.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Arts in European Union Law, Commercial, Tassos Georgiou.
Congratulations.
Victor Kenez.
Congratulations.
Dario Liguti.
Congratulations.
Shirley Sanchez.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in European Union Law, Employment, Sandra Keeble.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Adabanki Adesanya.
Congratulations.
Kelly Alexander.
Congratulations.
Gregory Allen.
Congratulations.
Caroline Allenson.
Congratulations.
Lois Ambrose.
Congratulations.
Irene Ansar Asari.
Congratulations.
Sarah Appleyard.
Congratulations.
Eshatu Asani.
Congratulations.
Matthew Ashwell.
Congratulations.
Caroline Ailing.
Congratulations.
Shalini Balakrishnan.
Congratulations.
Michael Balmer.
Congratulations.
Alice Bartichel.
Congratulations.
Victoria Bell.
Congratulations.
Claire Bennett.
Congratulations.
Stephen Billingham.
Congratulations.
Juliet Bird.
Congratulations.
Jeff Blaber.
Congratulations.
Adedamola Bolade.
Congratulations.
Sarah Bonser.
Congratulations.
Alan Basitskovich.
Congratulations.
Victoria Bradley.
Congratulations.
Sarah Briggs.
Congratulations.
Lucy Broadhurst.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Bundy.
Congratulations.
Christopher Burniston.
Congratulations.
Claudine Cahalane.
Congratulations.
Abigail Chester.
Congratulations.
Emmanuel Chukri.
Congratulations.
Richard Clitheroe.
Congratulations.
Nicola Close.
Congratulations.
Michael College.
Congratulations.
Andrula Constantinou,
Congratulations.
Stephen Cowins,
Congratulations.
Nina Dale,
Congratulations.
Rahat Dar,
Congratulations.
Jennifer Dorr,
Congratulations.
Nicolette de Boer,
Congratulations.
Hayley Devlin,
Congratulations.
Grace Dharmaratnam,
Congratulations.
Indrajit Dharmasingam,
Congratulations.
Sharon Dick,
Congratulations.
Timothy Dillon,
Congratulations.
Jonathan Drakeford,
Congratulations.
Sarah Draycott,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Deborah Dunlop,
Congratulations.
Yulia Economou,
Congratulations.
Victoria Evans,
Congratulations.
Sarah Fanshawe,
Congratulations.
Daniel Farmer,
Congratulations.
Katie Farah,
Congratulations.
Claire Faulkner,
Congratulations.
Mona Fawaz,
Congratulations.
Robert Fernyhoff,
Congratulations.
Ellen Green,
Congratulations.
Helen Greenman,
Congratulations.
Nicola Greenwell,
Congratulations.
Claire Gregory,
Congratulations.
Stephen Gregson,
Congratulations.
Anthony Hakes,
Congratulations.
Lottie Hammond,
Congratulations.
Esther Harrison,
Congratulations.
Ellen Hastings-Jones,
Congratulations.
Alexandra Hempsey,
Congratulations.
Imogen Hetherington,
Congratulations.
Felicity Higgins,
Congratulations.
Max Hill,
Congratulations.
Andre Hobson,
Congratulations.
Maria Hobson,
Congratulations.
Ellen Hodgins,
Congratulations.
Matthew Holbrook,
Congratulations.
Stephen Horsley,
Congratulations.
Edwin James,
Congratulations.
John Ioannidis,
Congratulations.
David Jones,
Congratulations.
Lisa Jones,
Congratulations.
Shah Jahan Karim,
Congratulations.
John Kenyon,
Congratulations.
Stephen Kilday,
Congratulations.
John Knox,
Congratulations.
Mark Landau,
Congratulations.
Jenna Latchford,
Congratulations.
Alithia Lightwaller,
Congratulations.
Carly Llewellyn,
Congratulations.
Mark Lupton,
Congratulations.
Claire McFarlane,
Congratulations.
Daniel Maguire,
Congratulations.
Amandeep Mali,
Congratulations.
Shaheen Mansour,
Congratulations.
Robert Marchant,
Congratulations.
Thomas Mark,
Congratulations. Thank you.
David Marlow,
Congratulations.
Gail Marshall,
Congratulations.
Helen Maskell,
Congratulations.
Peter Mason,
Congratulations.
Claire Matheson,
Congratulations.
Pina Mazzotti,
Congratulations.
Nicholas McAleenan,
Congratulations.
Martin McCabe,
Congratulations.
Abigail MacDonald,
Congratulations.
Melia McFarlane,
Congratulations.
Ruth McHugh,
Congratulations.
Michelle McLean,
Congratulations.
Christopher McMurtry,
Congratulations.
Justin Morley,
Congratulations.
Tajinder Mudha,
Congratulations.
Alexander Newsom,
Congratulations.
Melanie Eng,
Congratulations.
Samuel Nichols,
Congratulations.
Daphne Nicolatu,
Congratulations.
Orestis Nikitas,
Congratulations.
Matthew Oldham,
Congratulations.
Francesca O'Loughlin,
Congratulations.
Iabode Onipede,
Congratulations.
Despina Panayotou,
Congratulations.
Mitali Parek,
Congratulations.
Anna Parr,
Congratulations.
Rajesh Patel,
Congratulations.
Nicoletta Petridou,
Congratulations.
Elisa Pettit,
Congratulations.
Deborah Pomerantz,
Congratulations.
Rebecca Primavesi,
Congratulations.
Carly Randall,
Congratulations.
Louise Ray,
Congratulations.
Victoria Rain,
Congratulations.
Anne Robinson,
Congratulations.
Natalie Savides,
Congratulations.
Jonathan Seddon,
Congratulations.
James Shawnee,
Congratulations.
Ellis Silverman,
Congratulations.
Andrew Silverton,
Congratulations.
Jagjit Singh,
Congratulations.
Matthew Singleton,
Congratulations.
Emma Smith,
Congratulations.
Joel Smith,
Congratulations.
Mark Smith,
Congratulations.
Ikminda Soki,
Congratulations.
Adam Spur,
Congratulations.
Mark Stephen,
Congratulations.
Robert Stevenson,
Congratulations.
Joy Tan,
Congratulations.
Pei Siu Tan,
Congratulations.
Nicola Tam,
Congratulations.
Marilena Theoclitou,
Congratulations.
Angeline Vara,
Congratulations.
Christopher Vickers,
Congratulations.
David Wallace,
Congratulations.
Emma Waters,
Congratulations.
Nicholas Webb,
Congratulations.
Claire Williams,
Congratulations.
Melissa Worth,
Congratulations.
Georgia Zakariou,
Congratulations.
Carolina Zorzou.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, European Union, Philip Antcliffe,
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Board,
Congratulations.
Lucy Clayson,
Congratulations.
Lisa Duff,
Congratulations.
Hamish McBean,
Congratulations.
Davina Ogene.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, International, Richard Hanson,
Congratulations.
Chloe Smythe,
Congratulations.
Shakila Treadwell.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Laws in Law with French Law and Language, Rosalie Anderton,
Congratulations.
Lucinda Boone,
Congratulations.
James Clark,
Congratulations.
Sarah Clark,
Congratulations.
Claire Costello,
Congratulations.
Karen May Hill,
Congratulations.
Gillian Hitchin,
Congratulations.
Rakesh Lakhani,
Congratulations.
Catherine Lammert,
Congratulations.
Jennifer Oswald.
Congratulations.
Catherine Smith.
Congratulations.
Tim Vickers.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Laws in European Union Law, Commercial, Kamar Humphreys.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
I would like to begin these closing comments by adding my congratulations to all those who have received their degrees this afternoon. In the case of our honorary graduate, it's one of the good things about a university that it can recognize in this way the achievements of those who have contributed to society, whether in academia, business, or the community. As the public orator explained, Dr. Sinderby has indeed distinguished himself in his work. He has also been a friend and supporter of the university for many years, and it is a pleasure for us to have him in our academic community. We thank him for his gracious response. The graduates in the body of the hall have earned their degrees in a different way. They've worked hard, well, let me say hard enough, over 1, 3, or more years, and their graduation today represents in each and every case a considerable personal achievement. The staff of the University of Leicester congratulates you on that. However, in this fast-changing world, your studies may not stop with today's degree. Most of you will wish to continue your studies and embark on what is now known as lifelong learning. When you do this, please remember, as the Vice-Chancellor said, that this university is a major provider of postgraduate courses, both on campus and by distance learning. We would be very happy to enroll you again on a different course and to see you here at another degree ceremony some years from now. Even if you don't study here, we hope you will remember the university. We value continuing contact with our graduates and will be arranging a variety of events which will enable you to keep in touch with us and with others whom you have come to know during your studies. We rely on the supports of our graduates in many ways. For example, we hope you will tell intending students that this is a good university at which to study. At the other extreme, you may well be approached during a future fundraising campaign, in which case I hope that memories of your time here will inspire you to be generous. Leicester is truly an international university. We have research collaborations all across the world. Our student body contains students from over 100 countries. We also have a growing range of first-degree opportunities involving some time spent studying abroad. All this adds to the breadth of experience of our students. Being at university is not just about the course of studies, it is also about learning to live independently in a society of people. It is about appreciating other points of view and other cultures. It is about tolerance and consideration. We hope that you, our graduates, will leave our campus in our multicultural city and spread this message wherever you live and work. To those parents and friends here today, we hope that you have enjoyed your visit to Leicester and to the university. I'm sure that your support and encouragement has been important to the graduates during their studies. Equally, I'm sure you're proud of their achievements. It is a time of celebration for all. Finally, this ceremony marks for you, our graduates, the start of a new phase of your life. You hold the future in your hands, and are empowered by your education to make choices which will affect your lives and those of many others. Do so carefully and responsibly. We wish you all every success.
I now declare this congregation closed.